Hi guys, so welcome back to our podcast, The Common Man with Special Views. And today is not a normal episode. Ideally, we get to know about a common man's life, but today we like to go on a time machine and relive the life of that common man. For this very special episode of Common Man with Special Views, I have Mr. Charles with us. He is a senior school college counselor at Pakish Gurgaon. Hi, Mr. Charles.
Hello, Vardan. How are you?
Good sir, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Vacation, taking time, enjoying resting. I hope you are doing the same.
Yes, sir. So now, before we start with podcast, I would just like to know, like, why did you become a college counselor? Like, how did it come? What was the journey like?
College counselor came actually from nowhere.
Oh,
Let me put it that way. Um, I never set to be a college counselor, a career counselor, as you say. And the correct title is career and college counselor. Okay. I never set it out to be one because I never had a career counselor actually at school. Never. I've never met one. But I got the opportunity to work in 3 different continents, multiple countries. I work in different capacities, and that has given me a kind of experience, accumulating a kind of experience. And when I came to education, which was my last, I will say, the last industry in which I've been working, I find out that despite the number of information, the volume of information available to you students, actually you were quite lost, to be honest. So taking in consideration my experience, what I have gone through, where I have worked, why I did what I did, where I studied, I decided to start guiding younger generation. Initially, I used to do that just for fun, okay? One person in a building and a couple of friends, kids, and so on and so forth. But as and when I started doing that, I started saying that actually my guidance could help others. And that is how, uh, in the institution that I used to work before, I gave an idea basically to the management that, look, kids are coming to the school when they are in kindergarten, right? And we are releasing them in grade 12. But that's not about it. We can't release them like that. We have to give them a certain guidance so that at least for the first 2, 3 years of their college life, they know where to go. And that was way back in 2019. And I started the career and college counseling in my previous organization. And that is how from doing that as a casual, I'll say casual activity, I got into full-time career counseling.
Ah,
Yeah.
so you realized the need of college and career counseling amongst the youth, which made you become a counselor. What I can see.
It is not only a need, it is a necessity. It's not only a need. The need is there, but beside the need, it's a necessity. Look at the number of institutions, look at the number of study destinations now. How one pick what is fit for him. I'm not saying what is best. I say what is fit for him. You need to have I'll say, you need to have a professional advice. You need to look at a certain number of factors to decide where exactly you want to be, you want to study, and where you will flourish. Because a student can flourish in MIT, another may fail in MIT, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
they all are grade 12 pass. They all have more or less the same grades. But it works for one, it does not work for the other. So there are always that has to be taken in consideration, and that is where I come into a picture, right? When I say I come, I mean all career counselor, all my colleagues and myself, right?
Yes, sir. So now
Mhm.
I got it. Why did you become a college counselor?
Yeah.
But now I would
Yeah.
like to know, how did this journey start? Like, how did you come to India? Like, what made you travel from your homeland to India? Let's go back
Okay,
from time machine that journey.
time machine. Okay, first of all, I did not travel from my home country to India. Uh, like all young students, I was born and raised in Ivory Coast, which is in the western side of Africa, okay, French-speaking country. And I did my higher studies in France. Okay, so post grade 12, I went to France to study, and I studied sales and marketing. I specialize in marketing, to be honest. And I started working in France in the tourism industry, in the marketing department. And there I met my wife, who happened to be an Indian lady. Yes. And things move going forward to make the long story short. Um, Back in 2006, 2007, India was quite a bit in the news in Europe. India was really emerging, and everybody was talking about the emergence of India and how India is going to be, ruling the world and how the economy is booming and so on and so forth. Um, I am a person who likes to be part of things who likes to create. I don't like to be part of a set system, right? I want to be part of things which are moving, which I can add value. So when we started hearing those news of India booming and so forth, so my wife had told me, in fact, she asked me, since my country is booming and everybody's talking about that, why don't we go back? Why don't we go there and try to see if we can do something about it? We can be part of that. And I believe it's the wisest decision that I took. So we left France together and find myself in 2007 in Delhi to start with, not knowing English as I know now, speaking only French. Then I had to learn English. So I learned English in India, yeah, which very few people know about, yeah. Uh, I learned English, and then I started working. I remember the first company in which I worked was in Green Park, and then after I moved to Gurgaon, Cyber City Walk, and from there I got recruited as the vice president of a online tourism company in the south in Kerala, and I moved to Kerala. That was in 2010. And I remained in Kerala till 2023, where I moved back to Gurgaon, pathways, right? So that's how I came to India and why India. Uh, the small story that I'll say the Delhi Metro was built in front of me from scratch. I remember the new pillar that used to be on the road and the traffic jam that it created. So the Delhi Metro, the Bangalore Metro, the Mumbai Metro, the Hyderabad Metro, these are things that I have seen from my own eyes, right? And that is what I wanted at the first place, be part of things that I can speak about. It's not a set system, it's things that I can speak about. And I'm proud today that I return back to Gurgaon, I mean in Delhi NCR, I'm happy to see that you have multiple lines. You have these these metros which takes you everywhere. And I do remember trouble that we went through from where I used to live to go to, for example, Gurgaon. It was a 2.5 hours journey one way. And yeah, but today it's not that. It's 45 minutes. You are there, right?
Yeah.
So yes, that's why India. I'm in India because India is booming. I'm in India because India has potential. And as I explained multiple times during our session at school, um, time has come for people to migrate the other side. Okay, we used to migrate in west, but I believe that people are going to migrate in the east. And one of the country that we're going to migrate to is going to be India. And that, I'm not sure that Indians are ready for it. Yeah.
So now, as you said, you have lived both south side also and north side also. So
Yeah.
now I would like to ask you, which side do you prefer of India, north side or the south side of India?
Honestly, I prefer the south.
Uh-huh.
For the simple reason that it's green. Okay, I love rain. In fact, it was raining right now. It just stopped. I love rains, and yeah, that's the reason I like the south. Not necessarily because of anything else. Uh, the north has its advantages. Okay, the north has more options, more things happening than in the south. But if you want to speak about maybe the quality of life, the quality of air, I would say I prefer the south. That's why I always return to the south whenever I have vacation, because yes, we do have a flat here, but yeah, I call the south my home.
Hmm.
So I return back home and recharge and then return.
So, as being a corporate person, you did career
Uh-huh.
paths in both in marketing industry, the travel and tourism
Mm-hmm.
industry, and on the other side, the educational industry, which you have done as you done
Mm-hmm.
currently in Pathways also, and the previous school where you worked as a French teacher and a college and
Mm-hmm.
career counselor. So now I would like to
Yeah.
ask you, what are the challenges which you saw in both the industries and the strengths of both the industries? Because everything will have one positive and negative.
What, in corporate and education, you mean?
Yeah, in the education field and in the travel industry and the marketing field.
Okay. For example, when I was in Paris, we were working on a particular model. Okay, it's called a concierge. Okay, a travel concierge. So a travel concierge is basically a person who is going to go to your office or your home. Okay, it's basically a concierge, the guy who designed everything for you specifically. So it's not a commercial package like you see, for example, in those online travel and tourism thing. And it's very customized. And because it's customized, obviously it costs a bit more than anything else. So when we came to India, I tried to launch this concept. But back in 2007, it was too new for people to actually accept that. So it did not really work out because it was really new. The concept is like you move to people privacy, meaning in their houses, and you discuss their vacation with them, right? And that is something back in 2007, it's not there. But today, if you do a little Google search, you will see that there are a lot of concierge house in tourism, and I'm very happy about it because it's something that I tried in 2007, but it did not work. But today, I mean, there are a lot of people, a lot of professionals who rely on a concierge person to take care of all the arrangement rather than an OTA, like they say, online travel agency. So that's the tourism. In terms of education, the Indian education is different from the French education system in the sense that, yes, in India, you have 12 years in In France, you have 13 years to graduate. That's the main difference. And the French system is more inclined to the same system as the IB system. Yes. So it's taught more or less in the same manner. Very, very minor differences. Where in India, for example, you have multiple board, which for me was new. You have a CBSE, you have a ICSE, you have a whatnot, right? The state curriculum. So all that put together, for me, it's a kind of I find it a bit messy. I always think, why are we not able to go with only one board? And that's it. Okay, one board and that's it. Because when you look at the CBSE and the ICSE, for example, there are very, very minimal differences. So why we have to? Those differences can be corrected and put it into one. So it makes less troublesome. So yeah, these are the differences. Indian students are very bright, very good at memorizing. That is, yeah,
We have in our
memorization is very
genetics.
great. Yes, yes, it's your gene, I will say, right? And yeah, this is what makes you, yeah, makes you great, because wherever you go, you kind of succeed, right? You kind of succeed in every places that you are or you walk. That's why all the big CEOs of a big MMCs worldwide, I believe are all Indian, because they are great people. They are very minded and very intelligent people.
So now, lastly, for this specific phase of podcast, I would like to ask, what would you like to tell students who are about to step into the real world from your experience? Like the students who are just about to step from high school to college. What will be your advice to them, except academic advice?
Yeah. Obviously, academic advice, you have to study. If you don't study, it won't happen, right? So I don't have to say it. That becomes a mandate. It becomes something that you have to do. But yes, and like your parent or your grandparent, where we went to school, and I'm going to put myself in the same category. We went to school, we studied something, and we worked on that particular industry. I changed 3 to 4 industry. At your time, I mean, after you graduate, you guys are going to change industry almost every 2 years. So right now, a high school student should prepare for those changes rather than focusing to a career. None of you is going to make 40 years in a career as your grandparent did. None of you, right? There is a say by Alfred, his name is Alfred Tofer, and it goes like that. The illiterate of the 21st century will be those who won't be those who don't know how to read and write. Okay, because right now, if you don't know how to read and write, we call you illiterate, right? But he said the illiterate of the 21st century won't be those who don't know to read and write, but rather it will be those who can't learn and learn and relearn. What does that mean? It means that at your time, when you graduate, you would have learned something. But by the time you finish learning something and you graduate, that thing will become obsolete. Therefore, you have to unlearn what you learn for that degree, learn an additional thing, certification, whatever it is. That's why you have so many companies who does for certification online, right? And then go to the work market. And 2 years later, you have to relearn something new. to still be employable.
Oh.
Yes. So the advice I'm going to give you is to prepare yourself to change careers every 2 years. Until and unless you are ready for it, you are going to be unemployable. You are going to have a career. You are going to have a degree. It might be from a very great institution, but that degree will be useless. Useless as useless. Simple. Okay? Simply put. So prepare yourself for changes. Prepare yourself, and those changes will happen as COVID happened, right? In January 2020, we were all dealing with going to a grocery store, using cash and whatsoever. And in March, COVID happened. We all were locked down. And suddenly something called Google Pay, Phone Pay, and whatnot came into the picture. Am I correct?
Yes.
3 months. Just in 3 months. And today we can't live without those. Am I correct? And new things still happen, right? New things still happen, and it's going to happen.
So, what do you think? How should we prepare?
How you should prepare?
Yeah.
I just told you.
No,
Keep in
like,
mind that you are going to change career every 2 years. Keep in mind that you should continue learning and learning and relearning. That should be your pattern.
so as per
That
you,
should be your pattern. Learn and learn, relearn. Learn and learn, relearn. It should be your pattern.
oh, you are making me scared for future now. Like,
It's not scary. It is just, I mean, you should be grateful, right? That you get to know now, right?
yeah.
I told you in the beginning of our conversation that I never met a career counselor, right? And I studied marketing. And when I graduated, I started basically organic marketing. Yes. When I graduated, I was in that boat. My degree had become obsolete before even I graduated, because when I graduated is when they introduced online marketing,
Oh,
SEO, the online, all that. The year I graduated is the year they introduced it. So my degree was obsolete before even I graduated.
but
So
then what did
my,
you do? How?
exactly,
Yeah.
I'm coming to that. My batchmate who got those, I will say, heads up quickly, they had that certification and they got into the job quickly. I had to take an additional year to learn before I become employable, right? But right now, for you, you know it now. So it won't be a surprise to you. For me, it was a surprise. I got to know when I was graduating, and I was like useless. Imagine you go 4 years of study and then you find out that actually
One more
organic
year.
marketing is done. Now everybody is going online. Everybody is talking about SEO. Everybody is talking about online marketing and all this terms. You're like, what are they talking about? You are clueless about. So yeah, but now you know. So you have to prepare for it.
Yes, sir. So, I get it now. Try to ask you this thing. I'm also a student who is about to select my university major. When you were a student, did you know that marketing is meant for you, or you went with the bandwagon that everyone is doing it, so let's do marketing? Or you knew that marketing is the thing which is made for you, and you should do a degree in it? How did you choose the major for yourself?
The only thing I knew is that I like talking. I I was good at convincing people. Um, That's all I knew, right? And I did ask I remember at the admission office that, look, I don't know too much what you guys do here. You have plenty of courses. I remember exactly. Even as I'm speaking, the picture is coming on my mind. I do remember. And my admission officer was a Portuguese lady called uh, Loretta, Loretta Paulita. I still remember, right? And I did tell her that, look, I'm good at talking and I'm good at convincing people. What do you think what do you think I should register? Which course do you think that I should register? And she decided there on spot for me. She said, go for sales and
Oh,
marketing. I had no idea what was sales and marketing. Absolutely no idea. And I registered. I'm not going to say it was a bad choice, that I could have chosen something, but I find out that, yes, my personal attribute, my personal strength helped me in that. And that is where, coming back to you, student, that is where you have to look at what are your strengths. It's not about others. It's not about what your family thinks. It's not about what your friend thinks. It's not about a name of an institution. It's about what are your personal quality? What are your personal strength? What are you built with? And with that, what can I do? So you take your strength and you look at what is available. You will see that there is one thing inside that you can do, and you will do it naturally. That is where you succeed. Else, you are going to end up doing something, maybe to please your parent, maybe by peer pressure, pleasing your friend because your friend are going to XYZ. But believe me, you will never work in that industry. You will complete the degree. Maximum, I give you a year. You will work in that and you will switch. You'll say, this is not for me. This is not for me. And even if you complete the degree, that will be even a miracle. After the first year, you will know that this is not for me. Honestly speaking, I can't take that anymore. Yeah. So these are the kind of things that one should be very mindful of. It's all about your passion. It's all about, yeah, your passion. What do you like to do? What are those things that you do naturally? I'm going to take an example. You have kids, for example, they can't stand still. At home, they will dismantle every single toy or whatever is there. They'll dismantle it. And when you ask them why they dismantle it, they have no reason actually. They'll tell you, I don't know. I like doing that, right? They'll dismantle it and put it back. They'll fix everything at home with no reason, with no learning. These people are geared for engineering. I'm giving you an example. And if you don't know that, you take that particular boy and you go put him in an English major, you have killed that person. Literally. He is going to complete that English major, but he will never do anything with English. He will continue dismantling his stuff.
he
Yeah.
will dismantle Shakespeare's poetries.
Exactly. You take somebody who likes writing. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to be very specific. Let's take you. Yeah. You are
Yeah,
Vardan. Okay. You
yeah.
like doing your podcast. You like talking. You like doing all that. You like interacting with people. And I take you and I go put you in a chemistry class. You see your smile already?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
mean, I like chemistry, but I can't do chemistry for a living.
Ah, here we go. That is what I mean.
Like, I
You
can't see
can't do
myself
chemistry.
doing chemistry 24 hours.
Exactly. You can't. You you will put all your, I would say that, willpower, but 3 hours will be your last, your maximum. Like, I'm done. I don't want to do anything with that anymore. That is what I'm talking about. Your passion, what do you like? What are those things that you do naturally without even noticing that you are doing? Take that and look at what is available and go for it and create something, because you can, everybody has the ability to create something.
Now I'll do a live test of this. I will tell you my strengths, and then you tell on like live right now that which career path according to you is meant for me. So
Okay, let's
we're
go.
going to ask strengths, or how
It's
should I?
not astrology. It's not astrology, but yes, I will try. Tell me.
Okay, so I love narrating stories. I love making my own
Yes.
stories, and I love
Mhm.
interaction, and
Mhm.
I love money.
I don't know anybody who doesn't love money.
And yeah, that's it. I love making stories, and like
Uh-huh.
I like filming also.
Mhm. Okay, creative stories, creative writing, journalism, anything pertaining to media. Okay. Uh, I'm not going to say writing, but I will say there is one new stream called uh, communication engineering. Okay. Communication engineering is basically, it's more for a corporate side. Right now you have a PRO in corporate. So it is the updated version of a PRO. Communication engineering is a person who is going to design the entire communication of a, for example, of a company. So, like you said, is narrating story. Who is that company? Why this company? What is the product? Why you should buy for that product?
Yes,
You are narrating stories. You are creating stories. Look at look at in those angle.
I'll think about
Okay,
it.
think about it.
So now let's move on. So now I would like to
Uh,
know, how is an ideal day of a counselor like? How does it like? What's a normal day like? Can you describe? Like 8 o'clock, you go into office. How does it go forward?
Vardan, you know there is no normal day. Yeah. Because by what 7:30 I'm in my office, 7:45 you show up in my office. So that is not a normal day.
So would just describe to our
No,
audience like
but
how does it feel like
I'm
to be a counselor?
serious. I'm serious. We don't have a normal day actually, because every single day is different from the previous one, in the sense that you deal with new things every single day. You learn from student, you learn from obviously university representative coming to visit you, you learn from your own research, you learn from dealing with issues which happen even when you're on vacation. Yeah. I'm on vacation since 1st June, and I have dealt with 3 major cases already, right? So there is no vacation. It's not like I can't say it's vacation and I won't deal with that. That will affect the future of somebody else, right? So that's why I say there is no normal day. But if I want to tell you, for example, what is a day like for me, I have my meetings, and obviously, everybody book an appointment. My meetings are usually in the mornings. Yes. So that's where I'm going to meet everyone. And around 12 o'clock, I start doing whatever has to be. There are sometimes some forms, some email from university to reply and whatnot that I will do. And the last part, which we call our last period after lunch, that's where I do a bit of research, or if I have a meeting with anyone at school, I mean the academic team, the school director or a principal, for example. That's the time that we put those meetings. So during my meetings in the morning, that is where I deal with everything that I told you. So it could be a normal meeting as, sir, help me with this, but it could be a meeting as, sir, I'm in trouble because X, Y, Z. So I don't know exactly how to put it. My day doesn't stop at 3:20 in the afternoon. My day starts at 7:30, but sometimes I have worked till 2 o'clock in the morning. Because when I come back home, if there are issues, I need to deal with those issues. And since these are foreign university, you have to count, for example, you have to take in consideration the difference of timing. See, if I have to deal with a US university, I can deal with them only from 5:30 onwards. So from 5:30, I will start either calling, emailing, and by the time they reply and we fix that, it's sometime midnight, 1 o'clock. During the peak of application, the average time to go to bed is 1:30 in the morning.
So
Yet
that's
at 7:30, I will be in my office, and you guys are going to come. Good morning, sir. And I will say, good morning.
that's the abnormal life of a counselor.
That is a normal life, not only for Charles, but any counselor. You take any counselor, they go through the same thing. We go through the same thing.
Sympathy.
Yeah.
That was great to know how a normal life goes. So now I would like to start the rapid fire. Few of my audience members, they have shared me few questions which they want to know answers. It's college
Okay.
related. So let's start with,
Okay.
according to you, what should be an ideal timeline for applicants of 2025? What should they be doing in each month, starting from June?
Okay. Class 2025, right?
Yeah.
So in July already, we should be ready with at least the long list of colleges. That's in July. They should have completed the internship, I don't know, summer course, whatever extracurricular that is done. They should at least have written the first draft of a personal statement. When I say the first draft, meaning so that they can show it to us counselor and we start correcting that. By August, they should have sat already with the counselor at least twice to review the personal statement and to cut down on the college list. By August end should be finished. And for those who are going for example, for Oxford and Cambridge, September 15, application start, or for the rest, September, October, we start sending the application out. And meanwhile, yes, I forgot about that. By July, they should have already also placed their request to the teachers for a respective letter of recommendation. So if you send your request in July to a teacher, by August end, you should have it. So even if we are applying in October, we should not have a problem because your predicted will come somewhere in mid-September, third week of September. So we should be right on time to have all element for an application. So you see, it doesn't give us a lot of time. It gives us what, 4 months, right?
And
Not
then
enough
if
time.
your difficult curriculum like IB, then most of it's also consumed there.
Yes, yes.
So now I would like to ask one more question. Which is more valuable, summer school or courses online on Coursera on different platforms? What is your take on that?
Okay. My take on that, I will say it depends. I'll explain. If I'm going to apply, for example, to LSE, and I do a summer course in LSE, it is I'll say it is a plus point. If I'm going to apply, if I do a summer course in, I don't know, John Hopkins, okay? And I go apply to a college in the UK, Yes, job option is a good place to be. However, it is not that college that you're applying to. So summer course is profitable to the student application if you are planning to apply to that college, right? Now, if you are not in a position to do a summer course, I will say the best will be to have a hands-on experience. So I will say an internship, not even an online course, right? A good internship, 3 to 4 weeks, will give you more value, more credit than an online course because you're going to study anyway. But what they want to do, what an admission officer wants to see is that, oh, Vardan wants to go, I'm taking an example, okay? He wants to do media, but and he has done something for the last 1 month, for the last 4 weeks. He has done that rather than he has studied that. You understand? Do and not study. So if you ask me, I will say it depends. The summer course, if it's part of your college list, it's fine. If not, go for an internship.
Internship.
Mhm.
So now I would like to ask, as you know, in India especially, they can many
Mhm.
fake internships. People just write the internship letterhead. So do colleges realize that this is possible? And what do you think about that? Because I know many of my
They
colleagues
do.
and many from outside
They
school
do.
go do this practice.
They do. And I'm going to warn your audience here not to engage in such practices. Why I'm saying so is that 80% of the time, the application goes without interview. Okay? But some colleges and sometimes for your application to go through, you are going to have an interview. And during the interview, you will have one admission officer and a professor, right? That professor, if you say, I have done an internship in XYZ, is going to scrutinize you, is going to ask you questions about that internship. And if you can't answer, obviously, that internship is fake. Because if you have done something, you will be able to answer. They're not expecting you to give the right answer. They're expecting you to answer, right? So if you sit home and that certificate come to you, that is the worst thing to do. Because if you fall into those 15, 20% who go through interview, you are done. You are done. And trust me, it's 45 minutes. It
Hmm.
doesn't go fast. It doesn't go fast. 45 minutes with a university professor, no, it doesn't go fast. He will screw you. He will really squeeze you. The admission officer basically will go through all the documents that I would have uploaded for you. The professor will go through your knowledge. And that knowledge is what you know about the topic, what you know about the subject, why you want to get into, and use, for example, you pretend to have written a research paper. You don't write a research paper without researching, no? And you start asking questions about that research paper and you can't answer, that you are in trouble. So yes, that is something you need to pay you need to be very careful about. Very
Got it.
careful.
So the people who do all these practices, one or someday, maybe they'll get into college, but they'll not be able to cope up with the college curriculum because
They
this
won't. They won't. They won't. They won't. Most of the time, you will see that at the end of the first year, they will transfer. They won't be able.
so
It's
now
as simple as that. Mhm.
so you are a counselor, so you must have seen and be part of many hilarious stories where like there have been some situations where you don't know how to react. Like you either want to guide them or laugh on their situation. Has that ever happened? By not naming, can you just share a story?
it happens every day.
You can't decide between laugh or give a counsel.
You can't decide between laugh, slap a person, or kick the person out. But yes, yeah, there are stories. There are stories. I'll share one. Uh, so I'm not going to name the person, but yes. So I have this family meeting me beginning of the year, and they came with this attitude and stuff like that. And I welcome them and sat, and I said, yes, I'm listening to you. How can I help you? And the father started talking and said, we have come to meet you because of our son, and we want him to go to, we wanted to go to the top 20s universities in the US, including Ivy Leagues. So I listened. I said, yes, okay, fine. And so I started asking questions about the kids, how he's doing academically, and what has he done extracurricular, why specifically top 20s, top 15, including Ivy Leagues, because we have great universities which are not called Ivy Leagues. Why specific? No. If it's US Ivy Leagues. Then the question came, okay, sir, you have told me all that. Can I know what he's going to study? What are we talking about? He's going to study what? And the father takes some time, adjusts himself in the seat, and he tells me, anything, Mr. Charles, anything. Like you said, sometimes you want to laugh, you don't know what to do. So I put my hand like that because really I was about to laugh, right? And I said, sir, you said anything? He said, yeah, anything. So I asked him, so if I send your son to learn to sweep, that's fine also?
Yeah.
Then he started laughing. I'm like, anything is sweeping is part of anything. So you want me to send your child to Ivy League for sweeping? No, anything. I said, but sir, it doesn't work like that. We have to find out what the kids wants to study. And in that finding out, see if those Ivy Leagues are a place that he can do. I can't send him to go sweeping, anything. So these are kind of hilarious situation that you have. And after that, the pressure, and then I have to take time to explain to them the process, how actually you end up choosing a university, right? You don't go to Ivy Leagues because your friend's son has gone or has applied to a Ivy League. You go because you have a reason to go there, right?
So has this ever happened? Like someone has grades 30%, 40%, and come to you and say, I want to go to Oxford, I want to go to Harvard.
I didn't get you.
Like suppose take one example of a student who getting bad in grades. Like you can say 30% out of 100,
Yeah,
20, 50 passing grades, or just below average, and comes to you say like, sir, do whatever, but I want to go to Ivy League. I want to
that
go to
has
top.
happened. That happened. That
Happens.
happened. Yeah,
Then how do you explain them?
I don't need to explain that. I just have to laugh at them. Then they understand.
Uh,
When I say laugh at, no, seriously. I just have to let them know that to go to a Ivy League, you need minimum 95. If I'm go percentile, okay, 95 and above. You are just 40 or you're just 50. You are not even qualifying for me to send that application. So please forget about that. Let's look at where you can get yourself in, right? I just have to explain them that no, it's not meant for them. I had cases where uh, I was kind of forced by the parent to still send an application. And I stood my ground. I said, no,
No.
I'm not going to. You can do it if you want. But me personally, I'm not going to send this application because it's going to get rejected. Why waste one application? It's going to get rejected. Yes. A 40, oh no, basically you don't have 40, but I mean a 50, 60% student should know which range of university he can apply to and get into, right? A 80% should know, a 90 plus should know where to go. Now, if you are 50 to 60% and you want to go to a 90%, it's not going to work.
Yes.
It's not going to work. So sometimes it's a kind of battle. I'm not going to say with the student because most of the time the student understand, but it's mainly with the parent. Unfortunately, it's a question of status for the parent. You know, in the friend circle, they have to show that my kids is going X, Y, Z, but it
Yeah.
doesn't
In
work
the
like
kitty
that.
party, go and say my kid isn't
Yeah, it
talking too
doesn't work
much.
like that. I can't create a Harvard for your child who is having a 24 IB points. Yeah, I can't create that. That will not happen. So, yeah.
So now, I would like to ask the last question now to you
Mhm.
of this podcast.
Yeah.
What do you think a student who is entering a college should know? Should he know his career path? Should he know what he wants to study? Or should he know he's just like, we go like just go to the course and just like, he knows that he likes this stuff, so just start doing it. Like what level of understanding he should have?
Okay. You remember I told you learn and learn and
Unlearn,
relearn.
yeah.
Yes. The basic thing is when you get into college, the major in which you are getting into, at least that you need to know where it's going to take you. Okay. When I say you need to know, you have to have a basic understanding. Okay. This is this major, and this is what I can achieve with that, and these are the career path. By the time you finish that major, there would have been new career paths which have been added, which you are going to get to know because you are learning that. So your initial learning, your initial knowledge would have increased and therefore change your path, right?
Yes.
Let's take a practical example. Yes, you like accounting,
Okay.
yes, and you apply for a college for accounting. The first year, you will learn all kind of accounting. The second year, you are going to go for corporate accounting. The third year, you are going to choose your specialization and so on and so forth. And in that specialization, for example, you get to know about computational accounting, or you get to know about forensic accounting. That is something new that you didn't know 2 years ago. And you take interest in that, right? So that interest will lead you to a new part because you joined accounting because you wanted to do accounting, but now you are going, for example, for forensic accounting, which is a completely different part with everything cryptocurrency and whatnot, right? So what a student should know is a basic knowledge of the major and have an open-minded mind, okay? Be open-minded so that when this new avenue comes as and when he's learning that subject, he can make a quick shift. And your professors will tell you that this is a new part and is going to have future. This is a new thing, which is, so they're going to tell you that you need to pick up. You need to pick up the pace, right? You remember I explained my situation?
Yes.
My marketing manager, I remember, was telling on third year that something is coming, which is called online marketing, and I did not listen.
Oh.
The professor said it at least 2, 3 times. Have I listened to that and started researching? By the time I
You could have
graduated,
saved
maybe I
one
would
year.
have taken that certification. The professor said it. So your professor in class will say, this new, for example, this new things is opening up and is going to be something very great to move. We are going to put it in their own way of speaking. You need to pick up those things. And if you don't, you need extra information. And that is advice for your audience. Professor will like student who comes to them. Go to your professor. Sir, you said this. What is it? I want to know more. The professor will be happy to chat with you. It is not like, for example, the professor will chat with you, and if you are very close to the professor, he might even give you insight that you will never say in class. He will tell you, study this, or go search for this certification or this competency and add it. Or he's going to advise you, for example, to take a minor to your degree, because that minor will make the whole difference at the end. Right? So these are the tips that I can give. Be open. Be open for change, because your generation will change every 2 years. Right?
Rest, destiny will decide.
Rest, destiny will decide. Exactly.
So that was.
But do your best. Do your best. Don't let destiny decide. Meaning, do what you have to do. Okay, and then the final choice will be good. Yes.
Yeah. Whatever you can do, you do it, and rest and leave
Yes.
the hands.
Yes. Yes.
That was great to have you, sir, and it was great to know your life and journey, and what's your daily life. And I will not say normal life. I would say now abnormal, because you call the cases. Like it's very difficult to control the laugh. I can still laugh about that part.
These are things that sometimes we take back home, and it helps us relax. When you reflect on the day, you're like, yeah, that was a good one. You reflect with that, and it's unfortunately not the fault of the parent. It's just that he wanted the best for his child, but it didn't know what was the best. So I'm still in touch with them, and now the plan has changed a bit. So they are more focused on few areas, and we still laugh at that. Okay, we still whenever we meet, we still laugh at that. So yeah, it's not like he went raw or whatever. We still laugh at that because it was really fun. Okay?
Right. That was great. Bye, sir.
Thank you, Vardan. Thank you for having me here, and enjoy the rest of your vacation. I will see you in July. Yes.